And that was my last spot. This is going to be the final order of the list for the top 16 crab restaurants, in my opinion, in Maryland. I'm going throughout Maryland, the crab capital of the United States, to find the 16 coolest crab restaurants, and so far I've visited 13. Today will be the final 3 restaurants of the 16 that I'm going to try, and we'll figure out which one is going to be at number 1. Let's go ahead and get this day started. All right, so I'm on the last day of trying crab restaurants around Maryland, and this is my first stop, and it's one of the ones that you guys really wanted me to go to. Now, I actually went to college right by here at Anne Arundel Community College, and so I'm pretty familiar with the area, but again, I've never been to this restaurant. Let's go ahead and check out the Point. When I pulled up to the Point, I realized pretty quickly it's at a marina. The restaurant is kind of down the hill in the parking lot, kind of tucked away, and you don't notice it when you first pull up. But when you get there, you realize it's a pretty unique spot. It looks like it's all outdoor seating, it's right on the water, and bonus points, they give you metal knives. They also gave me a crab mallet, of course, their own seasoning blend, and some apple cider vinegar. I mixed a little seasoning in the vinegar and sat there and waited for my crabs to come out. Now I noticed on the menu that they say they only serve Maryland crabs, which is one of the few restaurants I've actually seen say this on their menu. Now looking around, you can see it just is a cool outdoor vibe, and within 20 minutes my crabs were on the table. I know they look a little smaller, but every single one was over 6 inches. I think it was the 0.5 lens. I got everything ready and it was time to taste one of the claws. I was pretty excited to do this claw taste test with an actual metal knife, and it does make it a lot easier for the method that I use. You just get it started with the tip of the knife, and then you're able to leverage it and kind of break it open just like that right there. Now, it was time for the tasting of the claw, and I gotta say, while they did look like they were gonna be good, they probably were a tiny bit overcooked because the meat didn't pull cleanly from the claw, but the taste made up for it. These were some of the sweetest claws that I've had so far. Now it was on to picking out the crab body. Okay, it's official. You guys know me better than I know myself, and you were right. The Point was actually a really good crab restaurant. I liked it because it seemed really like laid back, local. I liked the outside seating, and I really just enjoyed being there. I could have sat there honestly all day and just ate crabs. Now, as far as the crabs, they were locally caught crabs according to the menu, which I know doesn't make a difference in taste, but it does make a difference in feel. It feels good to have a local restaurant supporting the local seafood industry. And honestly, they were some of the best crabs that I've had so far. They were well steamed, they were well seasoned, they came out and they were a good size. And I've been struggling where to put this. It's definitely top 5. And I think looking at my top 3 right now, it's better than the Fisherman's Deck. I'm gonna go ahead and move the Point into the top 3 and put it at number 3. Okay, spot number 2 was 3 hours and 30 minutes from my house, but so many people said that I had to come here that I knew I had to check it out. It's a restaurant that was converted from an old hen house or chicken house and now is one of the best crab restaurants on the Eastern Shore, according to a lot of people. Let's go and check out the Red Roost. I'll be honest, this was not what I expected in a crab house. I walked inside and all over the walls were dollar bills and other things that just made it feel like more of a dive bar and a chicken coop somehow combined. Like, look at these cool rafters and stuff like that. This by far was the most unique restaurant that I was in throughout this crab tour. They actually had a pretty big menu, and it was the first restaurant that I've seen that actually has their own mallets with their name stamped on them, but unfortunately we do have a plastic knife. I got my iced tea, and within about 10 minutes my crabs are out. Now these were larges and they looked pretty good. I went ahead, pulled one off the body, and it was time to break open to it with my plastic knife. Now it's not ideal, but I made it work despite my phone falling, and the crab did pull out perfectly. I gave it a taste, and this was a really good claw, a good solid crab for sure. Let's eat the rest of it. Okay, so I just left the Red Roost, and you guys are right. That was super unique, and the crabs are really good. It reminded me of kind of like Eastern Shore Schultz's, I guess is the best way I could describe it. Inside, it kind of had that dive bar-y feel, the dollar bills all over the wall, not any outside seating or anything like that. And when I got the crabs, they were good. They were large crabs. They had a good seasoning, and a seasoning that definitely was unique to the Red Roost. When I'm thinking about where to put it though, I'm just not sure. It's not in my top 5, and where I'm kind of putting it right now is around Schultz's. So is it better than Schultz's, or is it just below Schultz's is where my question is. And looking at price, and that's going to be my determining factor, it was $45-ish for the crabs here, or $49, I can't remember which one, 45 maybe, and it was cheaper at Schultz's. And the crabs were the same quality. I'm going to go ahead and say I'm going to put Red Roost just below Schultz's. But if you're looking for a unique crab experience in the Eastern Shore and you love a good dive bar and delicious crabs, you should definitely check it out. And I see why you guys like it a lot. And after a 2-hour drive back to the Western Shore, I was at my last spot. I'm at my final restaurant for the day and for this entire series, and it's one that a lot of people recommended. I'm back in Essex, and I'm going to Mr. Bill's Terrace. Mr. Bill's Terrace had more of a sports bar than a crab house kind of feel, but I've heard great things about their crabs and their seasoning, so I know I had to give it a taste. Now they had a plastic knife, the wooden handles, paper towels, and everything you need right there on the table, and it was time to taste the claw first. These came out super hot, almost too hot, but I was still able to get my knife, open up this claw, and give it a taste. I'm not sure why it exploded everywhere when I opened it up, but I noticed these claws were a little more crumbly than other ones. I got a bite of part of the claw there, and I was surprised. It was actually pretty sweet. And now it was time to go ahead and move on to picking the body of the crab. I liked Mr. Bill's Terrace. I liked the crabs. The crabs were meaty. The crabs were really, really sweet. They were good crabs, and the seasoning had a lot of black pepper in it, and I liked the taste of that too. The inside reminded me of Abner's, but not on the water. And the price of the crabs are up there. They were $57.50. So automatically, I'm trying to think basically where I want to put this. In my opinion, gosh, this is a tough one. I think I'm going to place this above Abner's, but below Schultz's and Red Roost. And after thinking about it a little bit more, here is the final ranking for the 16 coolest crab houses in all of Maryland. This is going to be the final order of the list for the top 16 crab restaurants, in my opinion, in Maryland.